As a photographer, my main goal is to influence others to be different. Don't be afraid of being different.
The world forgets about you down here. The people don't know that you're even living below the city that they live in.
There was no government. There was a complete collapse and an awakening of realizing that government is not really designed to, right now, to be able to help the communities. And you could see that it was up to us to having to, self-organize and understand what our needs were to actually take it in our own hands.
When we saw the SOS sign in the street that they need water, and some neighbors wrote it in the street, water and food. So we start asking ourselves, help is not coming and we have to do something. So we start talking to the neighbors and the organization here to start doing something, just like cooking and making something for the people.
Yeah, after the initial shock of not even being able to stay in your own home, there was just this kind of itch. And I started feeling uncomfortable because I felt like there had to be something we could do.
Everything failed. I cannot blame anyone in particularly, but there was absolutely no communication, no power.
The power grid of the Power Authority prior to the hurricane was quite vulnerable. It's a centralized generation system, so all of the power to the customer relies on transmission and distribution lines with our mostly overheads.
There is an integrated resource plan that the Commission approved on September 2016. PREPA needs to file a new one this coming July 2018, and the Commission is presently working on the rules to guide that planification to not only meet the energy needs, but also to make the system more resilient on events like the one that transpired.
We identify that we needed to provide people or provide our community with food, communication, electricity, and water.
First, we start asking our friends.
You posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I posted, and then some friends of San Juan just went to Costco, right, and get with the list that I post, and they just bring all the food, and people start coming to our house to put, to get rice, and friends at first. Then we start asking for donations outside Puerto Rico.
Even though we didn't have anything when we started, the moment that we decided that we were going to do this, we spent about 5 days saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to be cooking every day. And it took, the moment we decided, the donations started arriving. Right. It was just, and so our friends started showing up to our house with their trucks full of food. And then I started asking for monetary donations. And that's when it was like opening the floodgates, because so many people wanted to help. They just didn't know where to go, how to channel that. Tomorrow
we're going to Vieques because they want to do another one over there. So we're starting now, to help each other, to help them to start, tell them our experience. Yeah.
And I think that the part that's unique, and while there are other efforts that are similar, the part that we're focusing on is how do you build self-efficacy so that people feel that they're actually part of solving their own problems, rather than I'm going to go here and someone's going to give me help, and then I'm just going to go home and sit and wait for the help. So there's a dramatic difference.
It's a change of culture, people are sometimes waiting for FEMA or the government to just come, and they came and they bring water, right? and some boxes just one day, and then they left.
And I just started asking on Facebook and in my network specifically, I started asking a network called Tech Lady Mafia, which is women who are in tech all over the world. And I asked them, I need a way of being able to communicate when I'm up in the mountain. And then this guy comes over on his private plane with the you know, the antenna and
Solar battery.
without enough money to really last more than a week on the island. And such an enormous amount of commitment towards doing what's right. And he came over, and within 2 days we had Wi-Fi up here. And we were able to offer it to anyone who was here. It's an undeniable fact that this effort is mostly led by women. We're understanding that data is power. Actually, being able to have community data, which the municipal government doesn't have, the state government, the federal government doesn't have. So who has the data about what happened to us? We're the only ones.
I chose to stay high instead of change my life for a long time, and until that day came where I decided to switch the importance and choose that living life was more important than getting high.
वो रास्ते के ऊपर रहने वाले लोग अपने बच्चों को तैयार करके स्कूल में भेजेंगे, फिर दोपहर को शाम को लेने आएंगे, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता। तो ये स्कूल में नहीं जा सकते, इसलिए स्कूल उनके पास लाना ज़रूरी था।
बट्टू सर इधर बोले कि हमको बोले स्कूल में आना है क्या, फिर हमने फिर बोला हमको पढ़ना है, फिर उन्होंने इधर एक कंटेनर लाके रखा और बोले स्कूल को पढ़ने का हो।
मुश्किलें तो आती है थोड़ी बहुत कि बच्चों को एक जगह बिठाना होता है, उनको स्कूल की आदत नहीं होती, तो फिर उनमें ज़्यादा रहता है कि बाहर जाना है, उनका जो भी कुछ काम करते थे उसके लिए वो डेस्परेट हो जाते हैं। लेकिन हम लोग का यही है कि उनको स्कूल में कैसे बिठाया जाए, स्कूल की आदत कैसे हो जाए, इसके लिए कुछ स्टोरीज़ बताना, सॉन्ग लेना, बच्चों के साथ खेल वगैरह से स्टार्ट करना, यही काम हम सब करते हैं।
जब वहाँ से इधर आया मुंबई में, जब आया तभी यहाँ पे स्कूल नहीं था ये, तब मैं भी दूसरों की तरह मैं भी यहाँ धंधा करता था। हाँ, माँ बाप स्कूल में नहीं गए थे, इसीलिए तो इतनी देर से फिर भी सोच के स्कूल में आना शुरू कर दिया मैंने।
बेगिंग बंद हो गया, ये सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है। बेगिंग बंद होने से वजह से होता है क्या कि उनका माइंडसेट भी बदलता है। हर एक चीज़ फ्री में मिलती है, हर एक चीज़ मांगने से ही मिलती है। ये जो एक एटीट्यूड उनका तैयार हुआ था, वो शिक्षा की वजह से धीरे धीरे ये हो गया कि मेहनत करनी चाहिए, अच्छा अपने को करियर मिल सकता है कि अगर हम लोग सीखेंगे तो।
पहले लगता था कि इन बच्चों के साथ कैसे हम लोग घुल मिल जाएंगे। ऑफ कोर्स यही था कि ये रोड पे रहने वाले बच्चे हैं, तो इनके साथ टैकल कैसे करेंगे। तो फिर हमने मतलब मैं अकेली नहीं, मेरे साथ मतलब हमारी आरती परब मैडम है जिन्होंने हमें बताया, वो पहले से इस प्रोजेक्ट में काम कर रही है, तो उन्होंने बताया कि कैसे इन बच्चों के साथ हम लोग वर्क कर सकते हैं। और फिर हम सब टीचर्स मिलके कुछ एक क्राइटेरिया बनाते हैं कि इन बच्चों के साथ क्या करना है, कैसे करना है। और फिर हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन से शुरू करके बाद में एंड ऑफ द ईयर हर बच्चे का हम लोग पढ़ाई स्टार्ट करते हैं।
स्कूल में बहुत सारे कुछ, जैसे दुनिया में क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे सीखना चाहिए, कैसे जीना चाहिए, इसका सब स्कूल में पता चलता है, इसीलिए स्कूल आना अच्छा लगता है।
4th से लेकर अभी तो नर्सरी जो किड्स है वो 3.5 ईयर से लेकर हम लोग उनको नर्सरी में लेते हैं, और फिर अभी 10th तक के बच्चे हमारे पास हैं। 4 years to 17 years. अभी तो 10th में एक लड़का 19 years का है हमारे। स्कूल को तो अभी 2 years कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे जून में। बच्चे शुरू से लेकर अगर आप बात कर रही हो तो शुरू में बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा, अगर उनको आप उनके पिक्चर्स देखें अगर पहले के, तो बच्चे आपको अभी लगेगा कि बहुत ज़्यादा उनमें सुधार आ गया है।
अच्छे से पढ़ूंगा और बड़ा आदमी बनूंगा।
The tunnels were built because the town wasn't built to take on water. I can come down here and the world forgets about you down here. The cops aren't down here like that. The people don't know that you're even living below the city that they live in. Like, it's almost as if it's like, I used to call it Neverland. You get to come down here and you never have to grow up and you never have to worry about responsibility and the real world trials. And I mean, it's easier.
A lot of people come, oh, this is the cleanest tunnel on this side of the Mississippi, you know. And it is, and I pride myself on that, you know. We keep it very clean. The guys that are up front, we call the frontmen or the gatemen. They'll let everybody know if somebody's coming through, which they didn't do tonight, but they're also up there for a reason, because they can't conform to the way we live, you know. And you see they have cigarette butts all over, and their trash is all over. Well, that's okay, they can stay up there, they've been here a long time, but that's where they stay, you know. They don't come back here.
I mean, these guys are smart guys. You can see they've strung up their own electricity in there. They have things in there that a normal house would have. They've learned how to exist in a flood channel under Las Vegas and have everything they need except running water, which I wouldn't put it past them to figure out how to do that.
Well, the tunnel, I don't mind the tunnel. It's like free rent. You know, the only thing we're missing is running water.
Okay.
We even got sunlight sometimes if you go outside. You know what I mean? But the tunnel's not the bad part. It's Las Vegas that's the bad part. Like, I hate this place, but I love the fact that it's 24 hours and it's so convenient.
Mine is a lot more of a girly. I do all the cooking. I do laundry.
So you got a big family here?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely a family, which is good and not good because it makes you comfortable. You know, and the last thing you want to do when you're homeless is become comfortable because you stay there. You know, it's easy to stay there. I don't want to stay there. I hate the tunnels.
Do you still gamble?
Very little now. Yeah, the last 2 months I bought my laptop, my phone. I bought socks and the underwear, just certain things, because I get Social Security. I think I'm the only one down here that does, out of about 15 people. So.
I really want to be an EMT. I wanted to be a paramedic for a really long time. I like saving people. I like helping people. It's too dirty. Like, I can't go present myself at a school. You know, I can't go sign up for any kind of grants or nothing in person. I get turned down instantly from any of that kind of stuff.
And you know, I talk to all of them and I'd say 90% of them want a way out. They just don't know how to convince themselves how to do it. The rule is you have to be drug and alcohol free. And that's a big hang up for them.
Okay.
Do I really want to quit doing drugs and alcohol? And that's where I was at. I chose to stay high instead of change my life for a long time. And until that day came where I decided to switch the importance and choose that living life was more important than getting high, I wasn't able to do anything. I mean, it's a great honor to be able to come back to the very place that I had considered my bottom and offer these guys, you know, proverbially, as it were, some light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm an 18-year-old photographer and based out of Washington, D.C. My parents are from Afghanistan. I came to the United States when I was 1 year old.
China, which is now such a huge factor in everything international, has a culture that's not just the traditional culture, which is magnificent enough, but it has a culture of music making now that is very, very exciting.
当然，这个在整个音乐会的过程当中，大部分的片段这个部分全都是由西方的这种管弦乐团来呈现的。 但是呢，里边这个很多melody 就是旋律的部分，包括和声的体系，包括很多的这个音乐形象里面，其实都有非常典型的中国文化的元素在里边因此呢，我觉得作为一个中国的这个指挥，或者作为一个中国的音乐家，可以就是运用这样的一种西方的组织架构的形式吧，因为这个管弦乐团是这个西方的一种形式，但是呢，加入这个中国的这个作品当中，我觉得其实是一个很好的机会，可以向西方的观众来介绍中国文化。
The quality has to be what we're after all the time. So what I was looking for with Chinese composers was the best composers. And I was curious to see whether the best composers would try to write in something that could be identifiably a Chinese manner, whether they intended to write in no particular manner except their own voice, but they were always informed by Chinese culture, or whether they really were thinking Western. And it was really interesting to see the mixtures of those ideas.
那就像演员入戏一样，如果你无论是演电影的演员，或者是在舞台上表演的演员，都需要根据角色来进行一个调试，因为已经不是我了，已经是作品当中的这个人。那作为音乐家来讲，其实我们的这个变化度要比舞台上的演员恐怕要来得更丰富，因为音乐能呈现出来的很多东西是非常丰富多彩的比如说昨天可能您看到的是我们正在排练陈金刚老师的这个乱弹。它本身就这个作品要求，演奏的人包括指挥，最后在作品的这个后半段，这个蓄积很多的能量，然后最后这个结束的时候到达一个像爆发的一个这样的一个状态吧。
It's the pleasure of seeing people suddenly realize that there's more music than they ever imagined existed in the world, and that it's kind of endless, and that if you're willing to explore, you never get bored.
I was born and raised in Ukraine, and I came here when I was 14 years old to pursue an American dream. I was always creating stuff since I was a little child. All of the walls were painted, my notepads were painted, everything, everywhere I could paint, I always did. Like there's always doodles and in every single book I was reading. I started by doing face painting, and I was doing it for about a year or two. I'm the type of person that I always like to take it to the next level. It's like, okay, what's next? What's next? You know, I'm already done with face painting, now what? And I went to a face and body art convention in Florida, and I saw that people were doing body painting, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. It's so much better than just face painting, because now I can do all my art with the body painting as well, and that's how body painting came along. I definitely had my body painted quite a few times, and one of the main reasons why I decided to do that is because I wanted to know what it feels like for the model to be painted, because for me it's very important to make my model feel as comfortable as humanly possible. And in order for me to understand that better, I chose to be on the other end of the brush so I can learn this experience. Initially, when I was exposed to this career, my parents did not support me at all. They wanted me to be a lawyer, a doctor. I'm actually the first person in my family that does not have a college degree. But at the same time, I'm the most successful one out of my whole family. When I pick up a brush, it almost like I'm getting into my own zone, in my own little world, my comfort zone. Very often my models try to talk to me throughout the process, but it's so hard for me to even keep up a conversation because I'm so focused about what I'm doing, and I'm so inspired that it totally takes me out of this world. It's almost like a drug. I have moments in my life that I get focused on one particular design or color. A few years ago, I got my first car, and everything had to be zebra. Like, even my dog was not allowed in the car unless he was dressed up in a zebra outfit. And now, as I purchased my first house, everything in my house is colored teal. Everything. I am a huge fan of Tom Jones. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God. Okay, so that's how obsessed I am. For some reason, for some really weird reason, inspires me. When I wake up in the morning and I turn on his music, nothing else matters. What I do for a living, it makes me happy. I feel like I have not worked a day of my life. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to do what you love.
My name is Waris Karimi, also known as Creamy Skates on Instagram, and I'm an 18-year-old photographer and based out of Washington, D.C. My parents are from Afghanistan. I came to the United States when I was 1 year old, so I came here in the year 2000. Photography means to me like freedom, like expressing myself, showing people how I see these things that we often like take for granted, you know? Like when you're walking down the street, you don't really realize how much beautiful architecture there is and all these cool stuff basically that the naked eye, like you don't really see it usually. You gotta like look in depth, I guess. The thing that motivates me to continue taking pictures is there are so many different like cities and all of these different places that I can go to and take my style here and apply it there. So there's so many like different possibilities. Not only that, but as a career perspective, like photography is what I want to do as a career as well. So since it's fun, that's another thing that keeps me motivated with it. As a photographer, my main goal as of now is to influence others to be different. Don't be afraid of being different, you know? Don't be afraid of not getting enough attention on Instagram because you're not posting what everybody else is doing. And not only that, but to basically kind of push a new like limit to photography, you know? We're already seeing this whole like urban themed photography on Instagram everywhere. Like, I want to see people trying to do something new instead of that urban style photography. Like, portraits are cool too, but everybody's doing portraits, everybody's doing rooftops. Like, I want to see something new, so that's what I hope to see in the future. People starting to be themselves rather than copying other people.